Has this ever happened to you? Fumbling your marker. Your marker's not working. Trying to scrub off those pesky markers in the shower. You forget your numbers and you're sent back to the bench.
Bench! Put your numbers on! Get those numbers on your arms!
Let's see that again.
I have a severe sweating problem. Before I got my Spank Alley armbands, the refs were always telling me to reapply my numbers. But now, I can stay in the game.
My Spank Alley armband's second as a rope. Now I can lock up the competition. Thanks, Spank Alley.
But wait, there's more. If you order now, you'll get not just one, but 2 armbands. That's one for each of your arms.
Good morning and welcome to Newcastle Entertainment Centre, coming to you live from the 2015 Bont Invitational. We are about to have the game between Victoria Roller Derby League and Perth Roller Derby League. Victoria coming off on a win against Sydney Roller Derby League on just before on track 1, winning 448 to Sydney's 36. Just to introduce myself, my name is Peachy Keane. I'm from Canberra Roller Derby League.
And I'm Pants, and I'm from Sydney Roller Derby League.
First jam of the game, we've got Swish Caraboom from Victoria and Johnston from Perth. Swish Caraboom starting on the inside, but taking the outside, having to get past Evans. Switching back to inside, taking the inside line. Lead jammer for Victoria in this first jam. Johnston still trying to make her way past the front, past that formidable Victorian wall. Swish Caraboom already making her scoring pass as Johnston gets out on her initial. Straight through the inside, calls it off. 4 points going to Victoria, first points on the board. I'll try and take this time to run through the list for Victoria. We've got the captain, number 88, Tui Lion, 01 OG Banger, 138 Swish Caraboom, we just saw, number 14, Chrissy Demons, 162 Florence the Machine, 19 Talibama Slammer, number 2 Smash and Pop, 47 Mystery, 66 Screw Barrymore. Just waiting for the jam to start. I'll continue later. Right now we've got Giles jamming for Victoria Roller Derby League, and 328, it's Peacock for Perth. Giles breaking the pack, lead jammer for Victoria. Peacock trying to make her initial pass, but got blocked to the inside, having to re-engage at the back there.
And Holly Smackerel for Perth going to the bin there, as well as the jammer as well. This will be a power jam to Victoria.
Giles taking a shirt whip off Perky Nana, going around the outside, a 5-point pass for Victoria as Peacock for Perth still in the bin. Victoria taking a running start to get the pack moving as Giles moves through, making her way past Edward Slaughterhands on the inside, getting a 5-point pass for Victoria, clocking up this lead already in the second jam of this game. Calling off the jam, another 2 points. Just finishing the team list for Victoria. Number 711, Slaggity Ann, 72, the Flying Nunchucker, and E105, Perky Nana for Victoria All-Stars. And for Perth, we've got the captain, 333, Holly Smackerel, 10cc Nurse Stacks, 11 Wheels McCoy, 1111 Johnston. And I'll continue that later. Right now, Chrissy Demons on a power jam start by herself for Victoria, getting hit to the outside there as Peacock comes back off onto the track out of the penalty box for Perth. Wheels McCoy hitting out Chrissy Demons and making her re-engage. Chrissy going around the outside, getting that lead jammer status.
We've got Peacock going to the bin there. It looks as though she received a low block and then getting a insubordination penalty. She'll be serving a full minute in the bin there.
Chrissy Demon's getting the 5-point pass, going in for some more points, asking her team for some assistance. Running into the back of number 27 from Perth, Dottie deranged and tripping over Thorson in the meantime from Perth. Either way, she gets through with the 5-point pass. Dottie deranged getting sent to the penalty box there. Flying Nunchucker coming in for the assist, sweeping out Thorson, and Chrissy Demons getting through another 5-point pass.
Perth looking at holding Victoria back there. Chrissy Demons, however, making her way through, collecting another 5 points for Victoria.
Peacock back on the track, trying to push past that formidable wall. Flying Nunchucker on the inside, drawing her back. And the clock running out on that jam. Chrissy Demons getting another 4 points for Victoria, really exploding this lead in the first part. I think that's only the third jam. Victoria All-Stars on 40 points. Perth West Coast Eagles on 0 at this time.
And we've got Slaggity Ann jamming for Victoria up against Wood from Perth. Slaggity Ann making her way through, gaining lead jammer status. Wood going to the penalty box for a high block there. Rorschach using that symbol, pointing her to the box.
Slaggity Ann coming through for a scoring pass, getting hit out there by the captain of Perth, Holy Smackerel, and getting drawn all the way back. Being bridged there by Lorraine Evans. And Florence the Machine coming through for an assist for Slaggity Ann. Captain Holly Smackerel and Edward Slaughterhands for Perth being the last line of defence, but letting her go. Slaggity picking up a 5-point pass for Victoria.
Slaggity Ann using Perky Nana there to make her way through on the outside, getting some more points there for Victoria.
And a cut track being dealt to Wood, the Perth jammer, which means Slaggity Ann is now scoring unopposed, having to make her pass. Edward Slaughterhands and Nurse Stacks getting hit to the outside, calling it off, still getting the 5 points. Bringing that score up to Victoria All-Stars 55, Perth Roller Derby on 0.
So we've got
about 8
Wood.
minutes into the first half.
So we've now got Wood in the box. G-Banger up on the line for Victoria. She'll be starting this jam by herself.
Thorson and Wheels McCoy really trying to block out G-Banger, but she's through lead jammer. I've been watching her games this weekend. I think they're playing 4 games in 24 hours here at the Bont Invitational, and they are not looking of tiring anytime soon.
Evans hanging back now for Perth.
Wheels McCoy hitting out G-Banger on the outside. She did kind of skip around her, but as Wheels McCoy was out of play, she got a no pass, no penalty, getting the 4 points. Oh, tried to do an apex jump, didn't land it, having to re-engage back. Wheels McCoy taking her for a bit of a trip back there, but her team drawing back the Perth skater as well. Lorraine Evans, pivot of Perth, now taking the star. G-Banger having a bit of trouble behind Goldsmith, number 45 for Perth. But she makes it through and gets the 4 points. Wheels McCoy going to the bin for Perth. And Lorraine Evans making it out for Perth as the jammer. G-Banger taking a bit of a push against Thorson, and Goldsmith pulling it off almost mid-air.
You know you've got skills if you can call it off while in the air.
Flaming Galar calling a timeout. My apologies, being called by Perth. At the same time, Flaming Galar comes in to clarify something with the refs. Whether this turns into an official review, we will find out. Flaming Galar, of course, the bench coach for Victoria Derby League All-Stars. I do believe this is his last game coaching and benching for Victoria All-Stars, so I'll have to get a word with him later on. He is, of course, Team Australia for the Men's Roller Derby World Cup, and got to represent Victoria Vanguard, which took out the first place in the Australian Men's National Tournament in November last year. It was a pleasure to watch him skate and see him acting very professional as bench coach here today for Victoria All-Stars.
Got Johnson now fighting her way in that Victoria pack at the back, while Swish Caribou makes her way through on the inside, getting lead jammer.
Captain Tui Lyon for Victoria getting sent for an out-of-play block.
Perky Nana there, taking Johnson back as far as possible.
In that time of watching all of the action with the blockers, Swish Caraboom already getting lead jammer status and collecting 5 points in her first scoring pass. Doing a bit of a hop, skip and a jump on the inside, not quite making it past Wheels McCoy, and Edward Slaughterhands running her back. And Johnson getting a forearms penalty for Perth just as she was making it out of the pack. Swish Caraboom not quite making it past Lorraine Evans at the front there, calling it off, getting the 4 points there for Victoria. Screaming ahead, Victoria All-Stars 74, Perth Roller Derby 0. 10 minutes into the first half.
Christy Demons, the sole trammer on the track there for Victoria. Getting down low, ready to start the jam, and she's off. Going from the outside to the inside, taking lead jammer.
Chrissy Demons, of course, jamming like said Demon at the Team Australia, for Team Australia at the World Cup recently. And all of that bounding experience internationally has really shown with the game for Victoria as a whole, how that's bringing everyone up to a really impeccable standard. Meanwhile, Chrissy Demons having a bit of a task getting blocked by Thorson and Goldsmith.
Wheels McCoy there at the back, helping Johnson to get through, doing a hop on the inside there.
A great inside line hop for Johnston for Perth, getting through on her initial pass. Desperate for points, but not quite able to catch them. Victoria keeping it nice and fast. 5 points for Victoria, no points for Perth at this time. Slugging in, jamming for Victoria, and MK47 for Perth, trying to do a star pass to the pivot. That's Nurse Stacks.
Tui Line trying to sit on her, not allowing her to make that pass. However, that pass has now been made.
Nurse Stacks still trying to get through as the pivot holding the jammer stars. Meanwhile, Slaggett Ann coming through for a 5-point pass, lapping the Perth jammer in the pack. Perky Nana being pushed out by Tui Lion to block Nurse Stacks, getting sent for a penalty in the meantime. That was an elbows penalty. Thank you very much, Pants.
Evans pushing MK47 out there to get Slaggity Ann out. Slaggity Ann bounces right back up though and is back on the track.
Holly Smackerel from Perth getting sent as a blocker for a track cut penalty. I think it was blocked out by one of the Victoria blockers. That means less blockers for Slaggity Ann to get around. Only 3 on the track now. Looks like Lorraine Evans and Rawberry and Scream from Perth. Lorraine Evans getting sent for an out-of-play block, releasing Slaggity and a 5-point pass for Victoria.
Perky Nana and Screw Barrymore making Nurse Stacks take a breath there. It's a lot of hard work jamming up against these strong, solid Victorian walls.
It looked like the jam was about to start at that time, but I've just got head ref coming over to clarify something.
Black 1-1 is issued a delay of game for a illegal positioning penalty at the start of the jam.
Thank you very much, Harry Spotter.
And it looks as though we'll be fixing the clock in a moment, as that was called as a timeout, official timeout there.
So, number 11 from Perth being dealt with a penalty for a delay of game. I'm not quite sure what that means, as the penalty box is a bit stacked at this time. She will have to wait to serve some time in the penalty box. Meanwhile, G-Banger skating out pretty much unopposed, other than Holy Smackerel and Wheels McCoy. Apex jump, tries to land it, lands out of bounds, and has to re-engage at the back there.
G-Banger, the sole jammer on the track now. Perth blockers being released from the bin.
Ray Evans back on the track for Perth, trying to defend those points, but really getting blocked behind those Victoria walls. They are the stuff of legends, having travelled overseas and being one of the only leagues here in Australia to play some international games at playoffs as part of the WFDA playoffs, number 4 in the world. MK47 trying to block it with the backwards block, but G-Banger gets free, collecting an easy 5 points for Victoria.
Peacock on the track now, going up against that solid 4 wall there from Victoria. Evans trying to help out now.
Peacock being hit to the infield. Smash and Pop running back, and Evans has decided to stop trying to help her jammer and try to stop Giles, which is no easy feat, that's to be sure. Being hit by Wheels McCoy and still getting through. Got the 4 points, calling it off. And just gone over 15 minutes in the first half, Victoria All-Stars on 128, Perth Roller Derby at 0.
Johnson getting down low, ready to jam for Perth. Swish Caraboom already up at the front, being assisted there by Perky Nana. They both, however, get pushed out of the track.
Swish Caraboom looking for an inside line here, as is Johnston. Being hit out and drawn back by Tui Lion. Lead jammer status being awarded to Swish Caraboom.
Tui Lion there, putting a big hit on Johnston, sending her out and recycling her back.
Wheels McCoy doing a bit of a sweep, but coming off as a low block and being sent to the bin as pivot, being joined by her teammate Thorson, number 88 from Perth.
Perky Nana there being sent to the bin for a clockwise block. Not very happy with that one.
Swish Caraboom coming through for a side surfing pass, collecting the 5 points. Johnston back on the track, making it through a light pack. Swish Caraboom getting the extra 4 points, bringing that score up to 138 to Perth 0. And official review being called by Blue. Well, which one? I'm going to go with Perth. Perth calling the official review. Is that right, Pants?
That is correct. While we're waiting for this official review, the Bont Invitational is brought to you by Bont with Roller Derby Australia. And we'll just get that official review now.
Perth are contesting the lack of an elbow call in the previous jam on a white blocker.
So the rest will just think about that. As I was saying, this is brought to you by the Newcastle Roller Derby League and Sydney Roller Derby League. We are now in the Newcastle Entertainment Centre. If you are watching and you're close by, just be aware that tickets are now $10 to get in for all day. That is a whole day of this roller derby entertainment. We are supported by Bont, who is also having a special at the moment, but we'll just... No, the rest still talking about it. We have a couple of... I think Bont is still doing some wheel testing. And we'll just get the result of the official review in a moment. There are some event specials going on as well. We've got a Bont Invitational lever patch for $10. We've also got toe guards as well for $20.
After a review, it is determined that the contact was legal and the impact was not occurred by the elbow. The call stands. Thank you.
Thank you very much to head ref Harry Spotter. We are getting back into it now. On the jam line we have Chrissy Demons, and for Perth 6060, it's Wood. High block being dealt to Wood. Oh, and she's gone over the point of no return for the penalty box, having to make a whole other lap before she can sit down. Edward Slaughterhands trying to block Chrissy Demons on the outside, but she ducks through, doing the old bean dip and collecting a 5-point pass.
Victoria there, Perky Nana running up to get the Perth pack moving. She gets through, collecting another 5 points there for Victoria. Smashing Pop and Chuck there, breaking the Perth wall up. Good reset there by Perth, getting together as quickly as possible. Chrissy Demons, however, using that fancy footwork to make her way through.
Wood back on the track after her penalty as Perth jammer. Chrissy Demons going through for a 4-point pass. And Wheels McCoy being sent to the penalty box as pivot for a stop block.
Christy Demons there, just assessing the situation, getting her gem of focused eyes on. Making that pass look easy there, collecting another 5 points for Victoria. Wood taking her time at the back of the pack, facing up against that Victoria wall. Chrissy Demons calling off the jam, getting 1 more point in that pass. Johnston up to jam now for Perth. Slaggity Ann getting ready now. Tui Lyon running up the front, trying to get that pack moving for her. Johnston being hit to the outside by Tui Lyon. Tui Lyon, Perky Nana bridging her all the way to the back now. Slaggity Ann just ducks under Screw Barrymore and Tui Lyon, confusing the Perth team, picking up some more points.
Another 5-point pass for Slaggity Ann. And Johnston being drawn back there by Perky Nana.
Johnson able to take the inside there. Christy Demons having none of that though and calling off the jam.
Score check with less than 10 minutes to go in this first half. Victoria Roller Derby League All-Stars on 192 points. Perth Roller Derby West Coast Evils on 0 with just over 8 minutes to go left in the first half.
And we've got Peacock now going up against the back of Smash and Pop and Chuck. G-Banger using that magic of hers, swinging around one of the Perth blockers to get lead jammer. Taking that inside line there that was wide open for her, collecting 5 points. While Peacock is still at the back of that strong wall of Victoria, who are waterfalling constantly, keeping her in the pack.
G-Banger sliding through the inside line for another 5-point pass. Something that I've really noticed about Victoria is that they managed to clump and move the whole pack around off the inside line, giving their jammer an easy line. She gets through, calls it off. No points for that pass. And breaking into the 200-point barrier, Victoria Roller Derby League 207 and Perth Roller Derby West Coast Evils on 0.
Got MK's 47. Picking up, unfortunately, a high block penalty, going to the bin. However, just about to say, looks as though she's successfully passed, but unfortunately has not. Nurse Stacks now also going to the bin for Perth.
Joining her teammates in the bin, Thorson from Perth. That's less blockers for Swish Caraboom to get around 5 points in that pass, coming through for another scoring pass.
Wheels McCoy there, trying to chase Swish Caribou down. Swish Caraboom putting on a burst of speed, making her way through there.
Dottie Deranged and Wheels McCoy, the only two skaters defending. Huge hit there from Wheels McCoy. And a great counter block there from Tui Lion, making sure that she didn't run back.
MK47 released from the bin now, who will remain the jammer. Going to the bin now for a cut track penalty being assessed.
Now I'm confused as I think it was Nurse Stacks who had the jammer panty at the time. Must have passed it back to the original jammer.
That's right, they passed it back while in the bin as the star pass was not in fact legal, so it had to go back to the original jammer.
I see. Hence the illegal procedure and the trip to the bin. Trying to rectify that. 2 points in that pass going to Victoria, none to Perth, and Perth is now calling a timeout. I thought I'd take this opportunity to let you know that here at the Bont Invitational, Bont has all remaining stock being discounted for the rest of the tournament on their remaining stock at the stand. So if you're after some Bont skates, boots, plates, wheels,
All things Bont.
all things Bont, go down to the Bont stand. Bont skates, lighter, stronger, faster. Having a Bont fitting party over there. Bonts of all sorts of colours, shapes and sizes.
Go try on some boots, maybe have a bit of a party dance. See how they feel.
So we have just over 5 minutes left to go in this first half against Victoria Roller Derby League All-Stars versus Perth Roller Derby West Coast Evils.
All the refs getting to where they need to be. And we'll start the next jam with MK47 in the bin at the moment. Christy Demons taking the advantage of this power jam start.
Thorson
there.
from Perth. Ah,
We're on the same page here.
that's right. Being the last line of defence, having to let Chrissy Demons go. Chrissy Demons picking up that lead jammer status. Oh, star pass attempt. Trying to pass the star to Lorraine Evans. In the meantime, Chrissy Demons coming through for a 5.4 point pass. Pardon my French. Wheels McCoy pushing Lorraine Evans forward to trying to take her out. Wheels McCoy taking herself out in the meantime while Chrissy Demons picks up another 5 point pass. That was a 5 point pass.
And MK47 going to the bin now for a cut. Victoria doing well to recycle back, drawing the cuts on most of the jammers in this tournament so far.
Lorraine Evans and Wheels McCoy really wanting to keep back Chrissy Demons. Wheels McCoy picking up a counterclockwise block. So only 3 to defend for Perth at this time. Goldsmith getting blocked out there by Smash and Pop. And Chrissy Demons calls off the jam. 3 points in that last jam. Sorry, last pass. It's hard to keep count when it's 5 and 5 and 4 and 3.
It all becomes gobbledygook in your head.
That's right. I'm seeing very few one pass jams
I've seen
in
a
these
couple.
Victoria
Oh, not this
Victoria
one.
jams.
Yeah.
which says a lot about the strength of their jammers, but also of their blockers being able to hold in that jammer. Slaggity Ann starting unopposed, being joined by MK47 for Perth, jamming just out of the penalty box, getting drawn back by Screw Barrymore. Ms. Reed joining her teammates, along with Tui Lion, doing a great bracing wall there, being held up by Perky Nana. Meanwhile, Lorraine Evans trying to take out Slaggity Ann. Slaggity Ann picks up the 4 points, goes in for another one.
MK47 there being drawn back by Miss Ree. And now by Tui Lion. These girls are very focused in what they do. They have so much awareness going on that they are constantly rolling through.
MK47 breaking out of the pack. She is racing around trying to see if she can get a few points. Calling off the jam as instructed by Flamin' Galar. Slaggity Ann calls it with 2 points in that pass. And with less than 2 minutes to go, Victoria Roller Derby All-Stars on 257 points. Perth Roller Derby on 0. Flamin' Galar in the centre to clarify something. And turning it into an official review at the 5-second mark.
And I'm sure for those watching at home, you've probably noticed we currently only have one camera operating. But don't worry, it looks as though we're going to get that all fixed up for you.
In the meantime, I'd like to extend a thank you to all of our international guests and coaches. New York Stock Exchange, San Fernando Valley, Callio Rolling Rainbow, Auckland Roller Derby, and our coaches Tracy Disco Akers, Scald Eagle, Stephanie Maney, and Mr. Furio for coming such a long way to the Bont Invitational tournament here in Newcastle at the Newcastle Entertainment Centre. Thank you to Newcastle for hosting such a great tournament here at the Newcastle Entertainment Centre. And for putting on the Bont Invitational, which is brought to you by Bont. Bont skates lighter, stronger, faster. Also thanks to Roller Derby Australia, Newcastle Roller Derby and Sydney Roller Derby, and everyone who was a big or small part of this tournament, the first WFTDA tournament here in Australia. I've got pants on the inside of the track, waiting for a clarification of the official review from Harry Spotter. Looks like head ref Harry Spotter is doing a check of points in the last jam. If you're here in the Newcastle Entertainment Centre here for the Bont Invitational in person, why not go down to some of our vendors? We of course have Bont Skates, we have Spank Alley for all things awesome, Rydell Skates, and Roller Derby Heaven for all your roller derby needs.
So we've wrapped up that official timeout. It was not a review. And we'll get rolling. Johnston there taking a sneaky inside line. She's got lead jammer, first lead jammer status for Perth in this game so far.
Johnston getting lead jammer from Perth. The crowd goes crazy. We do love an underdog. We're trying to get her some points. In the meantime, G-Banger getting through for a 4-point pass. Victoria not wanting to give it to them. The last gem of the first half. Trying to see if she can make it past any of the hips. I think this gem will go for as long as it takes to get those points. Thorson getting through. She gets the 4 points.
Captain for Perth there, Holly Smackerel drawing G-Banger to the back of the pack.
Captain Holly Smackerel managing to hit out G-Banger, drawing her back. It's quite clear that G-Banger is collecting points as she just did, 4 points, but Perth are wanting to get some points on the board now on 4 points to 265 for Victoria. Johnson getting hit to the inside and drawn out by Smash and Pop.
Johnson, it seems, wanting to get as many points on the board as she can for Perth.
G-Banger getting a 5-point pass previously and another 5-point pass. But it's Johnston getting another 4 points on the board for Perth. Just a few seconds left to go in this jam. Period clock has run out for the first half, but there's just enough time for Johnston to try and get a couple more points. 4-point pass there for G-Banger for Victoria.
Johnson swinging around. Florence the Machine coming up against a one-man show, Chuck.
The crowd is going crazy for Johnston. Another 4 points there and another 5-point pass there for G-Banger. Perth Roller Derby at halftime getting 12 points on Victoria's 283.
That now looks as though we're just having some clarification.
A halftime whistle has been called, so we will have a break for 15 minutes. In the meantime, you can see the men's mashup game happening. Our international men's team here from New York Stock Exchange has split into half to have a demonstration bout with some of the male skaters from Capital Carnage.
And I think
Spank Alley armbands. Get spanked.
That's right. I'm having a little look around to see if anyone's representing from any of our other men's teams, Victoria Vanguard or any of our others. They'll play them soon enough. I think they're playing them next weekend. So they'll be warming up. In the meantime, thanking some of our event sponsors, Spank Alley for all things awesome, Sports Clinic, Physiotherapy and Injury Management, Scion, Newcastle Entertainment Centre, the beautiful venue. We are here today. And extending a warm thank you and sending our appreciation to all of the officials, volunteers, skaters, referees, fangirls, and everyone who came down to Newcastle Entertainment Centre. If you're watching at home and you're nearby, we've got day passes to
There's
sell
still
for
time.
$10.
Still time to get your way down here, people. Come and watch. Come and watch the men when they get started. As Melodrama brought up before, you can hopefully get some man sweat. I don't know if people are out there. I don't know if there's a market for that, but you might be able to come down. $10 tickets. Best opportunity.
Okay, we're going to have a break for a couple of minutes until we get into the second half of Victoria All-Stars v Perth West Coast Evils. We'll see you in just over 10 minutes.
Has this ever happened to you? Fumbling your marker. Your marker's not working. Trying to scrub off those pesky markers in the shower. You forget your numbers and you're sent back to the bench.
Bench! Put your shoes on! Get those numbers on your arms!
Let's see that again.
I have a severe sweating problem. Before I got my Spank Alley armbands, the refs were always telling me to reapply my numbers. But now, I can stay in the game.
My Spank Alley armband's second as a rope. Now I can lock up the competition. Thanks, Spank Alley.
But wait, there's more. If you order now, you'll get not just one, but 2 armbands. That's one for each of your arms.
Thanks, Spank Alley!
Spank Alley armbands. Get spanked.
And we have just a few minutes left to go before the second half of the Perth vs. Victoria Roller Derby All-Stars game. Victoria in the lead at the moment, 284 points to Perth's 12. I think that 12 points was scored in the last few jams. Now, Pants, what was I saying? Oh, yes. Those last points, I think, were scored in the last jam of the first half. Pants is crazily trying to jog her memory there.
Yeah.
The last jam or the last 2 jams, at least. Just wanting to do a shout out to some of our event sponsors. Bont Skates, Bont, lighter, faster, stronger. They have a event special for their Bont Invitational merchandise. You can get a leather patch for $10 and the Bont Invitational toe guards for $20. They also have some wheels that you can test out this weekend at the Bont Invitational. I was talking to one of the Bont vendors before saying that the testing wheels for the 92s, 98 wheels are quite popular. Also, the MVP award will be given a custom set of Assassin wheels. So make sure you go down to the Bont stand or check out Bont online. Also a vendor, sponsor and sponsor of the Bont Invitational is Spank Alley for all things awesome. And they are 100% Derby owned, spankalley.com.au. Don't forget, if you have a VIP pass here at the Bont Invitational, make sure to use your Spank Alley voucher. All VIPs got given a Spank Alley voucher, which is valid for this weekend only. So head on down to the Spank Alley vendor booth on track 1 at the concourse, and you can get some amazing merchandise there. They've got clothing, they've got compression wear, they've got sweat suckers, which after this weekend, I know it's been rainy today, but it's been a little bit humid. There's going to be some sweat happening.
A lot of sweat going on. Get some sweat suckers to suck it all up. Both teams there doing their team chant, getting pumped up, ready to go for this second half.
As we get into the first jam of the second half, also wanting to do a shout out to some of our event sponsors I mentioned, Bont Skates and Spank Alley, also to Roller Derby Heaven for all your roller derby needs, Butlers, Sports Clinic, Physiotherapy and Injury Management, Scion, and Newcastle Entertainment Centre. Thank you for putting on the Bont Invitational 2015 tournament, the first WFTDA tournament in Australia. Speaking of, we've got the first lineup. 328 from Perth, it's Peacock, and 138 from Victoria, Swish Caraboom.
Both teams getting down, getting ready to go. 5 seconds already been called.
Swish Caribbean faking outside and then going in, having to make it past Thorson and Lorraine Evans, as well as Goldsmith at the back of the pack.
Peacock being recycled, now being sent for a cut track.
Swish Caribbean lead jammer for Victoria, looking to her bench for some advice on what to do. Starting up the pack speed from her help from her Victoria blockers. Swish Caribbean trying to make it past Wheels McCoy, being hit there by Florence the Machine. Lorraine Evans being disrupted also by Florence the Machine, doing some great offense. Swish Caribbean gets the 5 points and calls it off.
Now, I don't know if you can hear in the crowd, but Swish does yell out that she's calling as soon as she's calling it. It's always handy to give a bit of a yell out to your ref.
That's right, here in the Newcastle Entertainment Centre, we're also having some boot camps being held on tracks 3 and 4, so everyone wants to be heard equally. Peacock still in the bin for Perth. We've got Christy Demons jamming for Victoria. Tui Lion clearing a nice inside line for her jammer. Christy Demons getting through, lead jammer.
Perky Nana taking Nurse Stacks to the back of the pack, allowing, or making it easy rather, for Christy Demons there to make her way through, collecting another 5 points for Victoria.
Peacock back out of the bin, doing a nice side surfing move to try and get through on the outside, but being dealt with a cut track penalty. That was very smartly advised by Canberra's referee, John Ref Kennedy, or J-Ref as he's affectionately known. Chrissy Demons getting 5 points on that last pass, going through for another one, getting cleared through on the inside line by Tui Lion.
Tui Lion doing a bit of good glittering there.
Tui, of course, being one of the coaches here at the Bont Invitational and also a member of Team Australia with co-Team Australia skater shortstop. Should be playing later this afternoon, but in the meantime, also a Team Australia skater, Chrissy Demons getting another 5 points for Victoria. Scooping around the outside past. I think that's Goldsmith on the outside. No, it's 10cc, Nurse Stacks from Perth. Peacock passing the star to Lorraine Evans, having to get past Tui Lion. Oh, and Lorraine Evans getting dealt with a track cut penalty there. Getting the track cut, followed up by an insubordination. I think she took a little bit too long to get to the penalty box and not skating off the track immediately.
That's right, there was a rule change. If you remain on the track after getting a penalty for a period of time, or a while, you'll actually get a second penalty there. So the idea is get off the track as quickly as possible and make your way to the bin.
Clarification from Perth's benchy that when being dealt with a penalty, you must exit the track immediately. You can take your time on the outside, but get off the track. Slackety Ann jamming for Victoria unopposed, while Peacock is in the penalty box. My apologies, that's Lorraine Evans having taken the jammer star in that last jam. Wheels McCoy hitting out Slackety Ann, and she re-engaged behind the hips, now having to make it past Dottie deranged. And Thorson from Perth being ran back there.
Victoria, however, not letting them run as far back as they'd like, holding strong.
Thorson doing some great backwards blocking, last line defense being recycled. Oh, Wheels McCoy trying to do a hip clip there on the outside, but she dipped around it. That was her initial pass, so she's now got lead jammer status. Wheels McCoy again and Thorson trying to defend. Squeezes through the hips to get a 5 point pass for Victoria.
Evans now pushing up strong. Chuck, however, taking her to the outside and resetting her back. Unfortunately, collecting Slaggity Ann on the way through there.
Lorraine Evans back on the track jamming for Perth, doing some nice side surfing and backward skating to make through for her initial pass. Slagney Ann coming through, just collected 5 points for Victoria on that pass. Lorraine racing towards the pack. Slaggity Ann doesn't want to have a bar of it, calling off that jam. No points to Perth in that jam. And just over 5 minutes in, score update, Victoria Roller Derby All-Stars 331 points. Perth Roller Derby West Coast Eagles on 12.
Johnson right up on the jammer line there. G-Banger taking a rolling start.
Johnson being drawn back by Tui Lion there, and G-Banger getting through for lead jammer for Victoria. Smash and Pop joining her teammates from the penalty box. G-Banger trying to take it inside line, then hopping to the outside straight through for a 5-point pass.
Screw Barrymore there right up on Johnston, making sure she does not get any gaps at all.
G-Banger getting through for a 5-point pass. Johnston being recycled to the back after being hit out on the outside. Taking a bit of a leap around the inside, but went out of bounds, did not re-engage legally, being dealt with a track cut penalty as G-Banger comes around the outside for a 5-point pass. Captain Holly Smackerel and Edward Slaughterhands being left to defend, the only two Perth defenders on the track at the time. Victoria Blockers at a standstill, doing a bit of a psych out there. Holly Smackerel trying to hit G-Banger on the inside. She must have hopped around because she got the 5 points. Edward Slaughterhands doing some great backwards blocking. Giles tiptoes around the outside, collecting another 5 points for Victoria. Johnson back on the track after serving her penalty as jammer, being drawn back by Tui Lion. A 5-point pass there previously from G-Banger, and then another one. It seemed like the pack had not even moved in the time that she'd gone around the track.
Screw Barrymore putting a big hit there on Johnston, making her hit the ground. Derby is a very high intensity level sport. That's why we are well equipped with our gear, which you can buy here today as well.
And Swish Caraboom going through, getting lead jammer for Victoria. Wood from Perth getting through on her initial pass. Swish Caraboom looking for that inside line pass. Getting a whip from Flying Nunchucker. Still caught in the pack. Gets recycled to the back and calls it off.
Perth was speeding up the pack there, making sure that Swish Caraboom couldn't score any points. She manages to get 2 points in that pass.
And at this point of the game, Perth are just looking to decrease the amount of points scored by Victoria, celebrating only 2 points were scored in that last pass of that jam. MK47 on the line for Perth and Christy Demons for Victoria. Edward Slaughterhands, last line of defence for Perth, letting go Christy Demons, and Christy Demons getting a lead jammer for Victoria. Thorson getting a penalty for Victoria. Meanwhile, Perky Nana drawing back MK47 on her initial pass. As Chrissy Demons comes through for a scoring pass, just narrowly misses, falling over MK47 on the ground, skips to the inside and collects 5 points for Victoria.
Chrissy Demons bringing in the quick stops there. Good footwork going on with a little hop over the apex there as well. Gaining another 5 points for Victoria on that pass. Perky Nana doing a lot of backwards bridging, taking the jammers all the way back today.
Screw Barrymore hitting back and drawing back MK47 from Perth as Chrissy Demon sails through for another 5-point pass. Thorson back on the track for Perth from the penalty box.
And unfortunately, we just had an illegal star pass procedure. So MK47 is going to the bin now to serve that penalty. This will be a power jam for Victoria.
Laura Gravity and Thorson defending on at the front of the pack there, having to let Chrissy Demons go. Chrissy Demons getting another 5-point pass for Victoria.
Victoria blockers there, speeding up the pack, trying to help their jammer through.
And some tidy defense from Perth meant that that jam was called off with only a 3-point score on that last pass. Just under 20 minutes to go in this game. Victoria Roller Derby All-Stars, 416 points. Perth Roller Derby still on 12.
Slaggity Ann crouching down, getting ready to go, putting on a burst of speed. She is the sole jammer on the track at the moment for Victoria. Wheels McCoy putting on the brakes there. A lot of bracing going on by Perth.
Some great recycling from that 3-wall from Perth. That was Wheels McCoy, Lorraine Evans, and Goldsmith, but going out of the engagement zone, having to yield. But they've re-engaged at the back of the pack, seeing if she can start again.
MK47 back on the track now, almost on her way out to make a pass, but Chuck, using her awesome blocking skills there, just pushes her out.
That's right, Lorraine Evans forcing the cut, now taking the jammer star. Jamming for Perth, really wanting to get through on that initial pass, being forced out there by Florence the Machine, I think, because she's through on her initial pass. She is not lead jammer, but she is the only jammer on the track right now for Perth. Smash and pop being used as a goat there from Perth. Lorraine Evans getting a 5-point pass. First point scored by Perth in the second half. And a beautiful cheer from the Perth bench in support of getting some more points. Slaggity Ann completing that pass from the last pass before going to the penalty box. So 4 points on the board for Victoria. And Victoria really not wanting to give away any more points. A full 4-wall on Lorraine Evans. Lorraine Evans now blocking, trying to prevent Slaggity Ann from scoring. And Goldsmith going to the penalty box. Dottie Derange defending there for Perth. Slaggity Ann kind of hops, skips, and jumps, does a nice little stumble over her, collecting 4 more points.
G-Banger having a bit of a stumble there.
4 more points going on the board for Perth Roller Derby, bringing the score up to 21 points against Victoria Roller Derby All-Stars, 424 points.
Tui Lyon there helping G-Banger out at the front, getting her lead jammer status.
Nurse Stacks taking off the jammer penny. Not sure if she's going to pass it or not. Maybe a bit of a distraction here. Going back and forth with Screw Barrymore and Tui Lyon. Tui Lyon looking like she was moving backwards there, but no impact so far. 4 points going to G-Banger in that last pass for Victoria. A 5-point pass there for G-Banger for Victoria, and Nurse Stacks still in the pack for Perth.
Nurse Stacks being hit out by Tui Line. Tui Line taking her back now. G-Banger making her way around again, collecting another 5 points for Victoria. And we've got a star pass to the captain of Perth, Holly Smackerel, going around the track now. Unfortunately not lead jammer. Giles running on her toe stops there, gets through and calls off the jam. So don't forget, guys, today's the last day to get gear. Go and check it all out. Buy some stuff if you can. We've got Swish Caraboom on the line now for Victoria. Johnson for Perth, putting on a lot of energy, trying to get through that Victorian wall. Swish Caraboom taking the outside there, getting lead. Got the Perth blockers there, trying to help Johnson through, putting on that offense when required, and then trying to defend when Swish Caraboom makes her way around. Swish Caraboom seeing an opportunity on the outside, takes that to get another 5 points for Victoria. Johnson off to the bin now for a forearms penalty. Swish Caraboom trying to take a whip there off Talibama Slammer, not able to get through, being recycled to the back of the pack. Swish Caraboom politely calls off the jam, another 5 points to Victoria. Perth calling a timeout, having a minute just to refresh, have a bit of a break, think about their next strategy. So again, I don't know if you heard us earlier, but if you are in the venue, all remaining stock at the Bont Stand has now been discounted for the remainder of the tournament, which is today. Today is the last day of the Bont Invitational. Hope you're having fun here, taking it in, watching the derby. If you're just tuning in at home and you are close to the Newcastle Entertainment Centre, come on down. $10 tickets for the remaining day. Come and watch all the excitement happen. And the timeout is over. Christy Demons now on the jammer line for Victoria. Tui Line helping her out at the front there. Number 88 for Perth, Dawson, trying to hold it back. Christy Demons makes her way through. Lead jammer awarded to Victoria. Johnson now back on the track for Perth. Again, coming up against strong defense from Victoria, able to make her way through there, putting on a lot of speed. Christy Demons politely calling off the jam there after getting 4 points for Victoria. Wood getting in front of Sagadian there. Sagadian stepping around her, however. Going up strong against the Perth wall. Evans recycling her to the back of the pack now. Wood pushing hard on the back of the Victoria blockers. Sagadian looking at Rorschach, confirming that yes, she got through. She is lead jammer.
Some great partner blocking there from the Perth wall. Wheels McCoy hitting out Slaggity Ann on the inside and drawing back, being bridged back by her teammates. Meanwhile, Evans getting through. I think that was her initial pass. Jam was called with no points in that last pass. Victoria Roller Derby League All-Stars on 471. Perth Roller Derby West Coast Eagles on 21. Just under 10 minutes to go in this half for the game here at the Bont Invitational 2015 tournament here at the Newcastle Entertainment Centre. Now for this jam we have G-Banger, lead jammer for Victoria. And not too far behind, MK47 trying to make it past Perky Nana. Oh, being drawn back there by Perky and re-engaging at the back. Meanwhile, Giles, aka G-Banger. I'm looking at her jersey, it's very confusing. 5-point pass there for Victoria.
That's right. She is known by Australians as G-Banger. However, over in America, they don't necessarily get the joke. So she is officially using her last name when she goes overseas.
G-Banger making her way past Laura Gravity, doing a bit of backwards blocking there for the 5-point pass, coming through to do it again. Thorson having to deal with Screw Barrymore and Edward Slaughterhands, trying to take out G-Banger on the inside and forces the... Oh, no, I thought it was a cut. It was a forearms for G-Banger. She'll spend some time in the penalty box. In the meantime, NK47 from Perth, back on the jam. Forced out by Tui Lane and drawn back by Screw Barrymore for Victoria. And Edward Slaughterhands for Perth getting a penalty. Not quite sure what that was for, but we'll have to keep our eye on that one. Tui Lion drawing back. MK47 being bridged there by Florence the Machine. G-Banger back on the track, doing a nice little spin around Laura Gravity for Perth. Last line of defence there, picking up 5 points just as the jam was ending. With just over 7 minutes to go in this game, Victoria Roller Derby All-Stars on 491 points. Perth Roller Derby West Coast Eagles on 21 points.
Nurse Stacks jamming for Perth, comes up against Smash and Pop and Chuck. Perth managing, Goldsmith there, managing to draw Swish Caraboom to the back.
No pack being called. Goldsmith and Lorraine Evans still blocking. I think there was a bridge in the middle there. Swish Caraboom getting through lead jammer for Victoria. Nurse Stacks trying to make it on the inside. And being dealt with a cut track penalty. Nurse Stacks just sat down in the penalty box. Swish Caraboom getting forced to the outside and calling off the jam. 5 points. Official review being called by Perth. Sending in some pants into the inside to see what the stitch is.
Perth are requesting to use their review as a timeout. They will have a 1-minute timeout.
Smart call there from Perth, asking for an official review to be used as a timeout to take a little break. There is still 6 minutes left in the game, and they are wanting to do as much as they can in that 6 minutes. 6 minutes. Put some points on the board, or at least prevent any points going up for Victoria. I have the feeling they really don't want Victoria to hit the 500 mark at this stage.
Perth using this break, as it is rough coming up against these Victorian girls. They are quite strong. It is literally like going up against a brick wall when you come up against Victoria.
That's right, some of the best skaters in the country in Victoria. They are number 4 in the world in the WFTDA stats, playing playoffs, the only team in Australia to be represented in the WFTDA playoffs. And it shows. Chrissy Demons jamming for Victoria, unopposed, as Perth jammer is in the penalty box. Thorson and Captain Holly Smackerel, as well as Lorraine Evans, trying to do some defense there, having to let her go out of the engagement zone. And Lorraine Evans getting sent for an out-of-play block. Chrissy Demons coming in to score with Wheels McCoy trying to force the cut there. And she is through for a 5-point pass for Victoria. Meanwhile, Nurstex out of the penalty box for the as the Perth jammer. Flying Nunchucker being sent to the penalty box. Looks like a multiplayer block. Chrissy Demons getting the 5-point pass, coming through to score once more. Meanwhile, Nurstex getting a bit of the old personal one-on-one treatment from Tui Lyon.
Tui Lyon bringing in some of her boot camp moves, holding it back there.
Tui Lyon is one of our coaches for the Bont Invitational, so I think maybe she was giving her a little bit of blocking advice.
A little bit of a demo going on.
Meanwhile, giving the advice, blocking the jammer, then giving a whip to her jammer, Chrissy Demons. Demons calling it off with 1 point in that pass. And Victoria have indeed cracked the 500-point mark. 511 going to Victoria Roller Derby All-Stars. Perth Roller Derby still on 21 points with 4.5 minutes left to go in the game.
In that last jam, number 66 from Victoria, Screw Barrymore fouling out. Saggity Hand now pushing away up on that Perth wall. Perth holding strong, bit of bracing going on there.
And Johnston going to the penalty box as jammer for a track cut penalty. I'm looking at the penalty board. It seems that Victoria have been skating relatively clean apart from that one foul out from Screw Barrymore.
Speaking of which, Florence the Machine now going to the bin for either a stop block or a counterclockwise.
Slagadan picking up some points on that last pass. Trying to get some help from Flying Nunchucker. Keeping back Lorraine Evans there. Edward Slaughterhands and Goldsmith really giving it to Slagdan at the front there, being joined by Evans.
Good 2-on-2 going on there. Now 3.
Dottie Deranged looking like she's wanting to bridge, wanting to help her jammer, but wanting to keep her blockers in play at the same time. This is a game of discipline when you've got two things happening at once, but eventually Evans and Goldsmith having to let go of Slagney and picking up a 5-point pass for Victoria.
Florence the Machine now going to the bin for a multiplayer block.
And a 4-point pass there for Slaggedy Ann. Johnston still on the track for Perth, having to make her way past. Those Victoria blockers are just hitting back and running back, resetting beautifully. It's a real textbook of the how-tos of great defense.
Chuck there, getting down low, going one-on-one against Johnson, not letting her through. Victoria making Perth work for it. Very, as I said earlier, very tough competition. Very strong walls.
G-Bang is starting a little bit further back, getting a bit of a run-up, but also looking for the best line possible when that whistle goes. Getting through with ease, lead jammer for Victoria. Wood being drawn back. Thinking about taking a hit at G-Banger, but deciding against it. She's going a little bit too fast. Wheels McCoy being the last line of defense for G-Banger. Hit it out, but also went out herself, so that's a no pass, no penalty there.
Miss
Okinana and, who is that? Miss Ree doing some great partner blocking there. Wood takes off the panty, but not sure what she's going to do with it. Meanwhile, Wheels McCoy takes a dive on the inside, almost taking out Rorschach. Rorschach takes a little bit of a jump and then gives G-Banger a track-up penalty.
Wood back, panty back on her head now. Going up against the wall. Perth blockers coming in to assist now.
The Perth bench is standing up and wanting to give some support to their players. We are in the last part of the second half of the game. Wood takes off the jammer panty again, looking to see where her pivot is, or maybe she just wants to give it through. Gives it to Wheels McCoy around the outside. The crowd goes crazy. They are wanting Perth to get some points on the board at this last stage of the game. Getting 1 point for Florence the Machine. G-Banger through with a 5-point pass for Victoria. Wheels McCoy getting hit to the outside there. Tui Lone seeing if she can run it back and taking out another player in the process. 5 points going to Victoria in that points. 5 points going to Perth in that last jam. Everybody's taking a nice lie down after that game in support. What an amazing game from these two teams. Unofficial final, Victoria Roller Derby All-Stars on 541 points. Perth Roller Derby on 26 points. Wheels McCoy still on the floor, just trying to process it all. And the two teams congratulating each other as the final scores are being tallied by the officials. And those scores have been made official. Victoria taking the win, 541 points for the All-Stars, and for Perth Roller Derby West Coast Eagles finishing on 26 points. This has been quite a 24 hours for Victoria. They are playing 4 games in the last 24 hours. A higher scoring game against Perth, as well as Canberra Roller Derby's Vice-City Rollers yesterday. This morning, they played Sydney Roller Derby League 448-36. I'm going to try and nab the captain of the Victorian All-Stars and Flaming Galar, the bench coach for Victoria Roller Derby All-Stars, in just a moment. Stand by. And we're hearing the dulcet tones of the very primal chanting of Perth Roller Derby, ecstatic after that game against Victorian All-Stars. I'm here with the captain of Victorian Roller Derby All-Stars, Tui Lyon. How are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling really good. I mean, we're sort of back-to-back games was a new thing for us, so we sort of expected to be a little tired, but we do a lot of tournament preparation, so I actually feel all right. Maybe ready for a cold drink.
That's right, you're no stranger to the tournament structure, of course, being the only representative team from Australia to play in the WFTDA playoffs. So you feel like that prepared you for a few back-to-back games, or do you feel like at playoffs you get a few more breaks?
Well, we absolutely get breaks, but we've got tight schedules in terms of our warm-ups and cool-downs. So, no, every tournament prepares you a little bit more for the next. So, you know, we really wanted a challenge coming here, and we saw those back-to-back games as just another challenge for us to take on and master, and I think we did a great job at it. So,
I guess having back-to-back games kind of translates with perhaps the jet lag and time zone difference that you get with international playoff games. Is that right?
yeah, absolutely. The jet lag is a real tough one to move past. It's super hard, but yeah, I mean, the humidity here is also tricky for us. It's really hot. So we've been doing a lot of sweating. We've had trouble keeping our numbers on. We obviously need more Spank Alley armbands. So, but yeah, no, it's been great.
So it seems that you've got some sympathy for San Fernando Valley and Callio Rolling Rainbow. So now that you've finished, this is your last game for the Bont Invitational here at Newcastle Entertainment Centre. What's next for Victoria All-Stars?
Well, this is kind of technically the end of our season for 2014, so it's a little late ending, which has been hard to push through Christmas and everything, but yeah, I mean, from now, I guess we're focusing on our preparation for the Big O in May, so that's coming up next. But I guess one huge thing we have to overcome and move towards is getting a new coach. So we're looking for a new bench coach. The jerk, Flamin Galar, is leaving us to do wonderful family things and stuff like that. So that's going to be a huge challenge. It's going to be a huge loss for the team. So to be honest, the biggest issue or biggest thing we need to work through is how to deal with that loss. Yeah.
Well, I am also here with Flamin Water Jerk Galar. I'll leave you to have a bit of a stretch and time with your teammates. Thank you very much, Tui.
Thank you very much.
I didn't mean to, I was just paraphrasing Tui Lyon there. I'm sure that you're not quite a jerk. I did actually see Flamin Galar play representing Victoria Vanguard at the Australian Men's National Tournament, but this is a bit of a different moment for you, being the last. Guys, oh my goodness, Victoria All-Stars are having a little bit of a moment behind the scenes. This is a very emotional time for Victoria All-Stars. I'm a real sympathetic person. If you guys start crying, then I'm going to start crying. And then everybody's going to start crying, and it's just going to be a really emotional time. But today is a day of celebration for the last game Flamin Galar has with the team. Is there any way to describe the last 24 hours and your last game with Victoria All-Stars?
No, not in a single word or a sentence, but I think, yeah, I suppose proud or pride. We came out and just to see these guys do what they do so consistently and to finish in that form was just amazing and a credit to them, and it just makes me so happy to, you know, be considered a part of that. So I think that's the biggest thing for me, and that's why it's such a thrill. Like, I get to stand on the side while those guys do what you just saw, like incredible derby, and yeah, I mean, it's the end for me, but I just can't wait to see these guys do bigger and better things, and they just keep on going up. So it's exciting, you know, it's thrilling.
And the thing that I love about the way that Australian Derby is growing as a whole is that while people like Flamin Galar support the women's team, Victorian All-Stars, they also support his team. So Victoria Vanguard, of course, Tui Lyon is going to be coaching Team Australia for the men's Roller Derby World Cup next year, question mark? No? The men's team. So Tui Lyon is, of course, going to be a coach, as she is a fantastic coach. But I assume that you're retiring from Victoria All-Stars to concentrate on some of your own skating, perhaps?
Yeah, I'll be doing some skating and kind of growing up, I guess.
Obviously, these guys aren't going to be following that line.
Yeah, I'll basically be spending some time with my fiancée, soon to be wife, and doing grown-up things and choreographing more beautiful entries like this. But yeah, I'm just excited about the future ahead. But I'll still be around. Like, my face will be around, and I'll still be skating and just keeping away from these freaks.
Okay, well, I'll leave you to it. Thank you very much, Flaming Galah. Good luck with everything in the future, and I hope that you can bear to tear yourself away from all of those puppy dog eyes over there. I'll leave you to regroup with your team. Thank you very much, Flaming Galah. Enjoy the rest of the tournament. We'll be coming back with the men's mashup team. And in the meantime, after that very emotional display for Victoria's All-Stars, I'm here with captain of Perth West Coast Evils, Holly Smackerel, and Wood 6060 from Perth. How are you ladies doing after what a very grueling game against Victoria All-Stars?
That's the second time we've played the All-Stars. Last time was TGSS. It's always incredible. It's so hard, but we love playing them. They're amazing competition, and it means that our team just get to play their hearts out, and play amazing derby. So we love it. Everyone is completely exhausted, but very happy. It's a good high note for us to end on.
So with the understanding that any team in Australia that plays Victoria All-Stars are being realistic about the way that the result's going to hand out, did you have any particular goals, seeing as you played them just under a year ago at Adelaide at the Great Southern Slam? Coming into this game, did you have any particular things that you wanted to pull out? Woo! Anything that, in particular that you wanted to pull out at this game here at the Bont Invitational?
We always like to keep them guessing. At TGSS, we actually got the first points against them by doing a cheeky star pass. So we always like to keep them guessing and try and throw out a few different things if we can and get away with it. Yeah, apart from that, we just give it a go and do what we can.
So Perth being quite remote in Western Australia, there's not a lot of teams within a close vicinity from you. So I guess this tournament was about getting as much experience as you could during this weekend. So anything else that you want to get done this weekend, or something that you want to take home with you after this tournament?
I think we've got everything we wanted out of this weekend. It's been amazing, and we've asked a whole lot of a pretty small squad of skaters, and every single person has stepped up. So I think that's what we take back. Our league is fantastic, got a lot of heart, and so I think the team demonstrated that this weekend. So that's what we take back. Yep.
And did you get to go to any of the boot camps with some of our international guest coaches?
We have a couple of our players that are here that aren't playing the games due to various reasons, and both of them have gone to boot camps. We've also got one of our rookie skaters over at the boot camp, so it's really great. We can take back a lot to the league and try and teach them all the new things from all the awesome coaches.
Oh, also a bunch of NSOs. I do believe, being the first WUFTA sanctioned tournament, there's lots of officiating going on with the new rule set and getting all of the officials up to scratch. So lots to learn and cram into your heads and take home. Congratulations on a great game against Victoria All-Stars. You weren't the winners, but you definitely had some favourites out in the crowd and lots to take home to Derby in Western Australia. Holly Smackerel and Wood, thank you very much, coming all the way from Perth. Anything that you want to say to the people at home?
Can we do a shout out to Helen back, who's back home, and also a big shout out to everyone who watched us at this game. There was big viewing parties, so thank you for all the support back home. Brilliant. Yep,
Same again. Thank you very much, ladies from Perth. We'll see you around. Have a great rest of the tournament here at the Bont 2015 International. We've got the men warming up for the next mashup game, so we'll have some footage for you pretty soon. New York Stock Exchange and a mashup team. We'll see you very shortly.